Hello guys. Hello guys. Welcome back to Self Help Maths Academy. And today we will start with the new interesting concept. Yet some of the students will feel it difficult. That is about the geometry. So usually when we see the geometrical figures, we also feel difficulty because of their you know different structures, you can say, or in order to understand their properties, for whatever concern it may be. So let us make it easy by taking the concept. What today we're going to discuss is about the quadrilaterals. So quadrilaterals, actually it itself talks about more number of the, you can say, the sides. And you know as long as the quadrilateral is concerned, so we can talk about parallelogram, we can talk about rhombus, we can talk about rectangle, we can talk about square, we can talk about the structure like kite, trapezium. So all so on and so forth structures will come under this quadrilateral. So let us understand one by one what is this quadrilateral is all about, and how exactly we will know more properties about this, and how do we go with the solution of a given problem. Okay, so let's begin with the first quadrilateral, that is, which we are considering for our study, that is about parallelogram. So basically we are talking about quadrilateral. Okay, so yeah, so basically we are talking about quadrilateral here. Yeah, quadrilateral. And yes, we're talking about quadrilateral. In that quadrilateral, first we're going to discuss about the parallelogram. Okay, that is about parallelogram. Okay, so what is this parallelogram is all about, and how exactly this looks like? So let me draw it for you. So the usually the parallelogram, what we are drawing is, it something looks like this. Okay, take this, we take line. Yes, yeah. So our parallelogram looks like this. Okay, yeah. So here I'm joining this diagonal also. These diagonals also I'm joining. Yeah. So let us name them. I'll name it as A, B, C, and D. And let us take this midpoint as O. Okay, so basically what is this parallelogram is then? So parallelogram means it's a quadrilateral with each pair of opposite sides. So each pair of opposite sides, I mean, so these pair of opposite sides, you can say. So AB is opposite to CD. Okay, and similarly you can see AD is opposite to BC. So these sides must be parallel. So this AB and CD must be parallel, and AD and BC must be parallel. So what do you mean by parallel then? So a basic simple understanding of parallel means, if I'm trying to extend this say sides, so both the side, like say I'm extending infinitely, so there is no point that they'll have an intersection point. So the distance among these two will be same throughout. Similarly, you can extend it from the back end as well, so no change in the distance. Similarly, I say that these two are parallel, so do the same thing here. The extension, front and back, again there will be no change in the distance throughout, and there is no point of intersection of those two lines. So then only we can call them as parallel lines. Okay, so what is parallelogram here? Parallelogram is a quadrilateral. So with each pair, the opposite pair should be parallel to each other. So what are the properties then in the parallelogram? The first property itself is in the definition. That is not only parallel. The first thing I can say that yes, opposite sides are parallel. So they're parallel because the definition itself suggests us the parallelogram that their opposite sides are parallel. Okay, and the second thing is not only parallel, their opposite sides are equal. Opposite sides are, these are opposite sides. So opposite sides are not only parallel but also they are equal. Okay, opposite sides are parallel as well as they are equal, and also the opposite angles. So when I say opposite angles, so here you can observe this D angle is opposite to the angle B, and similarly the angle A is opposite to the angle C. So these opposite angles you can see opposite angles. Opposite angles, they are equal. So opposite angles are not only same but they're also equal. What is the fourth property then? Then the diagonals which you're able to observe, that is AC and BD. So these lines we call them as diagonals. These diagonals are equal. The diagonals are equal. That is again very important property of the parallelogram. Okay, so in the parallelogram, what we have studied? In the parallelogram itself actually says that the opposite sides are parallel, and opposite sides are not only parallel but they're also equal, and the opposite angles are equal, and the diagonals which I'm talking about, they bisect each other. Okay, so this is about the parallelogram. And similarly, now let's go ahead and let's think little bit about the next quadrilateral, that is about the 1 minute. Yeah, that is all about the rhombus. Now the next thing which I'm going to consider is about the rhombus. Okay, so what is this rhombus will do, and how the rhombus will have the properties, that will be now our discussion. So the rhombus also is a parallelogram. Actually we call it as, let me take, I'm talking about rhombus. Yes, so rhombus. So in the rhombus, what exactly will be the change, or how exactly we define? It's a quadrilateral. In fact, this is again, to become a rhombus, it has to be a parallelogram first with all the sides with equal length. So all the sides should be having a equal length. So here, let me draw this, how exactly it looks. Yeah. So here you can consider all these sides, say all four sides. Okay. And if at all I'm drawing this rhombus, let me name it as some P, Q, R, and S. So when I defined it, they said the properties here will be as follows. So how exactly we are defining the rhombus? So rhombus is, it is a parallelogram. It is a parallelogram. Okay, because already I've studied the parallelogram. So it is again a parallelogram, is opposite sides are parallel to each other with, what is the next extra condition? Plus all sides are equal. So here all sides are equal. So in the parallelogram, only the opposite sides are equal, but whereas here in this case, all the sides are equal. Okay, so that is the additional thing what we have here. So what is the important property then? So important property, first is definition itself we consider. Then whatever the properties of parallelograms are there, like the opposite sides are equal. Here, since not only opposite sides, because it is having all sides are equal, so therefore all sides are equal. And then here also you can take the diagonal of this if I draw the diagonals for this, so here, if I consider these diagonals, PR and SQS, they are always equal. So because the in parallelogram also the diagonals are bisecting each other. And then what we have, not only they are bisecting each other, they are perpendicular to each other. So that is the extra condition what we have in this case of rhombus. So here what we have is diagonals are not only bisecting, but they are perpendicular to each other. Perpendicular to each other in case of rhombus. Okay, so this is about the rhombus. Then we have the next thing, that is rectangle. We have rectangle. So again, the rectangle is again a parallelogram itself, guys. So this is also a parallelogram. But what is the basic difference we find out in the rectangle? Then how exactly it differs? So our rectangle looks like this. Let me name it. And here, if I consider this as, say, A, B, C, and D. Okay, so this is again a parallelogram, but with each angle is right angle. Each angle is right angle. So here also the opposite sides are equal, guys, which you can see. And the angles which I'm talking about, that is angle A, B, C, D, that should be right angle. When I say right angle, that should be equal to 90 degree. So that is the basic difference between the parallelogram and the rectangle. In the parallelogram, there is no specification. We just only talk about the opposite angles, whereas in the rectangle, all the angles are equal and they're equal to 90 degree. So these all angles are equal and they're equal to 90 degree. That is the speciality of the rectangle. So here it also follows all the properties of a parallelogram, guys, as we discussed. And along with that, each angle, so that the important property is each angle is 90 degree. Each angle is equal to 90 degree. Okay, and also with this, here the diagonals, if I'm talking about the diagonals, let me draw the diagonals. If I'm having the diagonals as usual we have in other cases, so here also the diagonal, you can observe AC and BD, they are equal. So the diagonals are equal. So that is also very important property in case of the rectangle, that is diagonals are equal. Diagonals are equal. Okay, so this is again one of the important property in case of the rectangle. Okay, so let us move ahead and let us discuss something again which is important in case of the next quadrilateral pattern, because these all are the different patterns, you can say, in the geometry, guys, which you come across in your daily household things. There are many structures which are having this geometrical figures, so you can able to understand them easily and you can make out. So depending on the properties. Okay, so you may be like, you might have come across many such what you can say, the property such kind of figures in your day-to-day things, which are little similar to the rectangle, little similar to the rhombus or parallelogram or square, which we are going to discuss now, and so on and so forth. So let us focus on the next important property, that is what I can say is about square. So let me draw the square first. Our square looks like this. Yeah, this is actually a square which we are talking about now. Okay, so square, importantly, you can say, you can make out how exactly squares looks like. So this is if I'm naming it as PQRS. So here also all the sides are equal, plus each angle is equal and they're equal to 90 degree. So that is the important property of a square, guys. A rectangle, this is again a rectangle with equal length. In the rectangle, only the opposite sides were equal, whereas in the square, all the sides are equal, because all the angles are 90 degree, even in case of rectangle. But in case of square, all the sides are also equal. Okay, so it also follows all the properties of the parallelogram. and a rhombus and also a rectangle. So whatever the properties we have discussed so far about the parallelogram, rectangle and the rhombus, they're also applicable for this square. Okay, so next important structure we discuss is something called kite, which actually many of you might have played also. Patang, so which we call in Hindi patang, so which is again like a patang structure, or you can say the kite structure. So let us see how exactly that looks like. So here, let me draw it. Okay, yeah. See, these two sides will be the adjacent sides, actually they're equal here in the case of this kite structure. Okay, yeah. So these two sides are equal. Let me name them as A, B, and C and D. So here you can observe these adjacent sides, that is BC and CD, they are equal, and the adjacent side AD and AB, they are equal. Okay, so a quadrilateral with exactly two pairs of equal consecutive sides. So here you can say there are two pairs which are consecutive two pairs. You can say the consecutively two pairs. When I talk about uh, consecutive means this AD and AB, you can say, and also BC and DC. So these two sides and these two sides are equal. Okay, so the diagonals are perpendicular to one another. Here, if you see the diagonals, if I draw for this particular kite, it actually looks like this. If I'm drawing the kite diagonal, so they're actually perpendicular to each other. When I say perpendicular to each other, guys, it's again 90-degree I'm talking about. So they have the 90-degree angle here. So they are bisecting each other in 90-degree. So one of the diagonal bisect the other. So here one of the diagonal will be bisecting the other, means if this diagonal I'm considering, this will make equal parts here, and this diagonal, one of the diagonal means here this particular diagonal will be bisecting this particular diagonal exactly at equal parts. Okay, and the angle, if I consider the angle B, and in the figure, if you say the angle B, this is our angle B, and if you consider the angle D, this angle, so angle B and angle D, they are equal, but angle A and angle C, they are not equal. So only one side angles are equal. So that's what I can say. The angle B is equal to angle D, and but the angle A is not equal to angle C. So these are some properties of the kite, guys. Okay, so till now what we did, we have discussed about the parallelogram, and we have discussed about the uh, the rhombus, we have discussed about the rectangle, we have also discussed about the next characteristics. So now what we do, we just discuss about the next things, which is again important for the further discussion. So let me take up now. Yeah, let me take up now one example. So wherein we can just talk about the calculations part. So actually there is one figure given to us. Say, let me draw that. They've given us one rectangle, guys, and they are also given the components. Let's see what are the things they have given to us. Yeah, they have given one rectangle by name. They have named it as R, E, N, T, and here this is the middle point, which is named as O. Okay, so what they have given is, it is a rectangle they have given, and its diagonals meet at O. And not only this information, but also they have given that the its diagonal, we have to find out some x. So where they have given the values, like the OR value they have given to us. OR value they have given as 2x plus 4, and OT value they have given to us, that is equal to 3x plus 1. So they have given this and they have given this value. Okay, so when I consider this particular problem, I have to remember one property first, that is in a rectangle, we know that the diagonals, that is TE and RN. So TE and RN, they bisect each other. So this is what we know. So when they bisect each other, I say that means this OR should be equal to ON, and this, and also they are equal. That also we know. So this OR equal to ON and EO is equal to TN. So they have given me, that is this OR, and they ask us to find out the X value. So when I say OR equal to ON, so let us find it out. So OT, this is half of the whole diagonal TE. So the first thing is this OT is half of the diagonal TE. Okay, so this we know. And similarly, OR is half of the diagonal RN by 2. Okay, so this we know. Why? Because the diagonals are equal and diagonals are bisecting each other. Okay, they also halves, when they are equal, their halves are also equal. So therefore, they are also equal. Now what we do? We equate both the equation, that is 3x plus 1 is equal to 2x plus 4. So 2x plus 4. So when we equate these two equations, so this is a simple algebraic equation. You can take x values one side. So 3x minus 2x, which is equal to 4 minus 1. So you'll get here x value as 3. So therefore, whatever the value they are asking for, the x value is equal to, the x value is equal to what? 3 here. Okay. So this is how, guys, we're going to find out the values. Now similarly, they are giving you some of the questions in case of diagonal, what you can say, the squares. So this is like little rectangle. Now let us have some questions on the square as well. So here, if I have a square, let me take a square here. Okay, so let me draw that square. This is a square which they have given, and they have given us the values. Before I draw this, I think I should let me draw the diagonals also. Yeah, so they have given me the square, that is T L B E. So this is actually the square they have given, and this is bisecting at a point O. This is also they have given, and as usual, you know, every angle is equal to 90 degree. This is what we know. Okay, so this means that square has all the properties of a rectangle in additional requirements, and we also know that every every side is equal in length. This is also we know additional property in case of the square. Okay, so here as this is given, so when I say all the square, all the angles are equal, all the sides are equal, it implies what? It implies BT equal to TL equal to B equal to LE, and also all the angles are also equal, which are equal to 90 degree. That is angle B equal to angle E equal to angle T equal to angle L, that is equal to 90 degree, because they are right angle triangle. And also, as I told you, their diagonals are bisecting each other. So therefore, BL is equal to TE. They're equal. And also, what I say, when I say BL equal to ET, so they're bisecting each other. I mean, so this OB is equal to OL, and this OT is equal to OE. So this is the diagonals bisections, we can say. And also, you can take the this BL and TE, whatever the diagonals I'm talking about, they're also perpendicular to each other. That means the angle between them will be 90 degree. So they are perpendicular to each other. They're bisecting in perpendicular way. This is how actually, guys, we need to understand the properties in depth so that we can understand the other concept easily. So that is very important, guys, which you have to understand in a very uh, deep manner. Okay, so this is how in this particular video I have done just the properties and simple examples. In the next video I'll be coming up with some more properties and some more examples which are little difficult. We will increase the level of difficulty and we'll solve the examples. So stay tuned and stay connected, guys. So uh, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, just like it, subscribe the channel, and give your valuable comments. Thank you so much, guys.